welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back with a brand new setup, as you all can see, and today's video is going to be all about how to make your makeup last during summer. So if you guys want to know how to wear makeup which doesn't get ruined by the sweat and the oil on your face, then continue watching.
As per usual, I start off my makeup with the Evian facial spray. This is very hydrating and nourishes my skin and prepares it for all the makeup that's gonna go on. I then go in with the Jeju Volcanic Lava. This is a pore serum from the Face Shop. This serum is amazing and I do not use a primer. I use a serum instead because primers are very heavy and a serum helps your makeup stay as long as a primer would, and it does not feel heavy at all, so it's very good for the summer specifically. I then go in with Sunbless. This is a sunscreen which I've been loving again for a really long time now, and this has SPF 50 plus in it. Use a high SPF, girls, because sunscreen is very crucial for any makeup regime during the summers, and use a silicone based one which will not again feel heavy on the skin. I then go in with my LA Girl HD Pro Conceal Color Corrector. This is in the shade Peach, and I use this corrector to hide all the dark spots of my skin, which is particularly the under eye, the sides of my face where there's slight skin darkening, and for the other parts of my face which are slightly red, I use the LA Girl HD Pro Conceal Green Color Corrector. This is used to conceal the redness on the skin. I then use a damp beauty blender to blend all of this into my skin, and guys, please remember that a damp or a wet beauty blender is something that will help absorb the makeup into your skin much better, and that's what you need so that your face is not cakey and loaded with makeup, because if that is the case, then your face is going to get oily and sweaty, and this entire sweat proof thing is not going to happen. You could also use your fingers to blend out the remaining parts of the green color corrector, just the way I am doing it right now, because I wanted the green to get more diffused, which is why I'm using my fingers instead of the blender. I then go in with my e.l.f. Liquid Illuminating Potion. It comes in this small little tube, and this is something I use before my foundation because I don't want to layer up too much highlighter after I apply my foundation, because the trick to making sure your makeup is summer ready is to layer as less as possible and blend out as much as you can. Now girls, pay attention to this step because this is probably what is going to change the way your makeup sits on your skin during the summers. Use a setting powder before your foundation. Yes, you heard that right. I'm asking you to use a powder before a liquid foundation. It sounds crazy, but try it because it's really worked for me. And it creates this kind of a barrier which prevents any of the oil and the sweat to come and ruin your makeup. So just give it a try. You'll surely thank me for this trick. Next up is the LA Girl HD Pro Concealer in the shade Pure Beige. This concealer / corrector is the best. You've already seen me using 3 tubes in less than a minute, and that's because this corrector / concealer is very easily blendable. It's lightweight, it doesn't really cake up, it blends like a dream, and the formula is totally non-oily, non-greasy. See, sometimes very good products can have a dewy or an oily sort of an effect on the skin, so please look out for the products that absolutely mattify your skin, because in a bit during summers your skin is anyway going to produce its natural oil, so you want to stick away from any products that have oils in it. Which brings me to my foundation, which is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Foundation. Of course, you need to pick a foundation that claims to be 24 hours. We know that no foundation at the end of the day stays on your face absolutely the same way for 24 hours. But yes, we need a long-lasting one, which this definitely is. The bottle also says that it's no transfer, no visible imperfections, no visible shine, etc, etc. But yes, this foundation definitely dries out in an absolutely matte formulation, which means that when it's dried up, there is no oiliness on the skin. It is pretty easily blendable, and the shade that I picked up matches my skin tone. I bought this off of Nykaa, and my shade is Sable Door or Golden Sand, and the number is 200. So yeah, I love this foundation. I tried it out for the first time and I was totally impressed by it. The bottle of 30 ml costs around 1100 bucks, which is pretty good. And yeah, I mean, use any matte foundation, to be honest. The L'Oreal ones are really good. There is also Maybelline Fit Me. I then go in with the Maybelline Eraser Eye Concealer. This is something I'm using as a highlighter. This is actually an extra step, and for those of you with really oily skin, you can totally skip this step. I'm doing this just to make my makeup look even better, but then again, this is an extra layer on your skin and you want to minimize the number of layers. But then again, all the makeup geeks would know that concealing is not enough. We also like our under eye highlighter, and for that purpose, Maybelline Eraser Eye is amazing because it blends truly like a dream. So another trick every time you're adding on layers to your skin is to buff it all in. I'm using a Real Techniques buffing brush to buff all of the products into my skin so that it's nicely absorbed and there's no oiliness or cakiness on my face. Next, I'm going to contour my face using this bronzy shade in this e.l.f. palette that I absolutely love. I'm using this pointy brush that I don't know which brand it is from, but it's an amazing brush, especially when I have to get my nose contour on point. Again, for people who do not like to layer up too many things on their skin, skip this step completely because yes, we want our skin to breathe as much as possible during the summers. But for those of you who do like to contour their face, please stick to powder contours because using cream contours or liquid contours is going to make your skin a little more oilier than normal, and when you go out, it's all going to like sort of wipe off with the sweat, and that's going to be pretty disgusting. So yes, I'm using a powder contour just like I use every time on my skin. I apply it onto my cheekbones, onto the jawline, and also the temples of my forehead because I have a broader forehead, so I like to contour my forehead as well. Once you've deposited the powder contour to all the points of your face that you want to define a little more, just like your cheekbones and your jawline, you go in with your beauty blender and you blend it all out in an upward motion so that your face doesn't look very droopy. Next up, another very important trick is after you're done with your foundation, you go in again with the setting powder and you go in with a wet or a damp beauty blender, and you take a lot of this powder onto your beauty blender and you deposit it under your eyes and also on the other parts of your skin which usually get oily. So for me, it's the center of my forehead that gets very oily. The bridge of my nose gets super oily, so I'm depositing the powder there. The top of my chin, I guess everyone gets oily on their upper lip, and of course the sides of my face. So I'm basically depositing a lot of the powder. I'm not really baking because baking means leaving the powder on for a bit and then wiping it off. I'm literally slowly absorbing every inch of the powder onto my skin with the wet beauty blender. I then went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera in this cool camera trick, and now it's time for eyes. So I go in with my NYX Lingerie. This is an eyelid tint in the shade Sweet Cloud. This is such a nice formula. It glides on like butter onto your eyelid, and it's this nice rose gold color which is very neutral, and I love to use this on an everyday basis. It's very lightweight again, which really doesn't make my eyelids feel heavy. I then go in with my Hilary Rhoda palette. This is an amazing palette. It almost has every shade in the world, and I take this cool toned brown shade to define my crease. I'm going to be doing a very basic eyeshadow look because I don't want to layer up too many shadows because that's just going to get very disgusting. If I start sweating, it's all going to come down onto my foundation and onto my cheeks, and that's just going to look really bad. So I'm just taking a very warm toned brown now and defining the outer edge and pushing it onto the crease of the eye and just creating a sort of natural definition, blending it all out because yes, blending is the trick to flawless eyeshadow. Doing it on the other side as well till I'm happy with it, and then I take my Cute AF palette from Colourpop. This actually is called the Yes Please Pressed Powder Shadow Palette, and I'm taking the shade Full Zip to define my brow bone because that's something that I love to do. And this is a completely matte shade. I'm not taking anything shimmery or glossy because I don't want it to again look oily, and I'm taking a little bit of that cool tone shade onto the inner corners of my eyes just to brighten up the look and make it pop. I then go ahead and curl my eyelashes with the Color Bar eyelash curler, which is pretty good. So far so good. I then go in with the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara. This is a very good mascara. It's non-waterproof, which is what I love because I'm able to take it off easily. And I'm applying a very light coat of it on my eyelashes because I made the blunder of deciding to put false eyelashes, which literally took me an hour. I'm not even kidding. but of course I edited all of that out, which is why you can see me dancing like a fool once I was able to manage to put those lashes on. I then went in with my Lakme Insta Liner just to cover up that lash line which had gotten pretty messy honestly. And after that I just touched up my lower lashes with some mascara and my eyebrows with some L'Oreal Brow Artist eyebrow powder, which is really good actually. You guys should try. I then went in with this Maybelline cream blush. This is something I have been loving and you can see that I've clearly used it a lot. It's this really nice creamy textured blush. I will be telling you the shade just about now. Okay, so it doesn't say what shade it is. It just says Dream Touch Blush. You guys can look it up. Maybe it's available on Nykaa, but this is such a beautiful blush. It's like a peachy pinky shade and it adds that summer glow onto my skin. I'm just topping it up with a little more pink blush from my Makeup Revolution palette just to give my cheeks a nice flushed look. Moving on to highlighter, which is probably my favorite part of this entire look. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Highlighter in the shade Hustler Baby, and this is such a beautiful shade. It looked so gorgeous off camera. Even on camera it looks stunning. Just using a bit of highlighter on the high points of my cheek, on the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow and on my chin. And yeah, it's a very pretty shade. I cannot tell you how happy I was with this. I also applied a little bit onto my collarbones. Then going in with my Maybelline Baby Lip Balm, my trusty lip balm. I love this one. This pink shade is really cute. And I then go in with my Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick in the shade Bombshell. This is such a great nude summery color. It'll go with any skin tone I believe, and it just gives a nice flush to the lips. And of course I'm using a matte lip shade because I do not want my lips to be too creamy or oily. And then I'm going in with Dabur Rose Water. This is a really good trick that my mom told me to use to keep my makeup in place when I don't have setting spray on me. And to end things, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix powder foundation, which is amazing. You can use any compact or again maybe the loose powder just to end your makeup routine with powder so that you know everything stays in place and stays matte and oil free.
Set my heart on fire.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that these tips come in handy to all you girls out there who are really scared of wearing a full face of makeup and going out in the summers and looking like an oily mess. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Of course, as usual, do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Click the bell icon to get all the notifications of all my videos. Like, comment, share, and keep loving me the way you do. Bye for now.
Fire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.